Cyprus Hotel Association was founded 82 years ago, so we have been around before the Republic of Cyprus. We were founded during the colonial days. We represent hotel owners. In fact, we represent the vast majority of hotels on the island, and we act as a lobbying group for the hotel owners. But I would say that at the moment, in the past few years, we have been acting as a close government consultant on tourism-related issues. Over these 5 years, an investment of approximately 600 million euros was spent within the hotels in renovation expenses, in product improvements, in introducing new technologies. And today, I'm very proud to say that the hotel product is the flagship of the tourism growth. The hotel product is the one element of this whole industry, which is called tourism industry, which is, has been driving the growth. Most of our hotels have been really improved, renovated. They have added additional facilities, and as I have said many times, most of our hotels were built in the 80s, and they have reached a point that they were too old and not satisfying the needs of the tourists of 2015, 16, 17, and so on. So we needed to adapt our product to the needs of today's tourist. And this is what we have done. At the same time, something else which is very important for this 5-year period is that most of the hotels were champions in NPLs at the time, and today, again, I'm proud to say that it was the fastest reduced rate of NPLs. We were back in 2015, I think, hotel sector was about 67% NPLs. Today is about 22. So it's a huge achievement. In 2013 in particular, when all the sectors of the economy were shrinking down dramatically because of the banking crisis, our industry was growing even in 2013. So this demonstrated the government that we have positive input to offer, and we continued this cooperation until today. In 2017, we have reached, indeed, a record year, both in terms of tourist arrivals, as well as revenues from tourism. The spread of the arrivals during the season helped us a lot with the extension of the season, which was one of our strategic targets back in 2013. Our idea was to add 1 month at each end of the season. So if we could include November at the end of the season, and if we could include March in the beginning of the season, that would help us reach a 9-month season, which was very important for us. And this is what we have achieved till today. I must say that with President Anastasiadis and his government, we have been enjoying a very productive relation during the past 6 years. And the fact that he mentioned that he wants to work even closer with hoteliers, it's a good seal of approval for what we are doing. And we are very happy that he said that. The fact is that when he used the term modernize, he referred to the continuation of this upgrading and enhancement of the hotel product, but at the same time, us being advocates of introducing more and more technology into the industry. These are things that we are doing and we are studying all the time, and we try to assist our members on that. But to be honest, most of these initiatives come from the hoteliers themselves, because the private sector is always the biggest innovator in these ideas. First of all, the hotels need to stay open during the winter season. In order for them to stay open, they need to have the conditions under which they can be sustainable during this winter season. Secondly, a lot of hotels have invested a lot in these facilities like conference rooms, conference facilities, additional activities are offered within the hotel. A lot of them have introduced a lot of theme restaurants and so on. Through that, the hotels can create the basic infrastructure for winter tourism to operate in Cyprus. I believe that at the moment, the statistics are indicating the increase during the low season is much bigger than the increase during the high season. So I think that there is a lot of things that can be done. It's not just the hoteliers who can do that. We need to follow the strategy, the national tourism strategy, which has been announced by the government, and hopefully it will be it will start to it's going to be one of the major issues that the new Deputy Minister of Tourism will have to deal with, to apply and implement the new national strategy. Part of that refers to a lot of different steps on how the sun and sea concept can be diversified. There is a lot of discussion on this sports tourism. There is also a lot of discussion on the archaeological sites, how some of these archaeological sites need to be revamped and renovated in order to accommodate more people. These are things that all put together will create a good concept for an off-season holiday maker. So there is a lot of things to do, provided we put them together in a nice wrap and present it to the market. The positive thing is that we have realized that the importance of the 7 top markets is reduced, which is very good for us. And the new markets, which are growing, like Poland, for instance, Poland has been replacing the loss of the Russian market. So this is very important for us. There is such a good connectivity now with the Gulf states, with the Middle East, with Israel. Israel is growing so fast. What the hoteliers are doing towards that is that they need to have beds available, first of all, for these markets. Secondly, we need to invest in marketing, in attracting travelers and tour operators from these countries. It's at the moment to start a new market, it's a very tour operator driven situation. You cannot convince 5 or 10 individuals to travel to Cyprus. If you convince a tour operator to start a holiday program to Cyprus, then you open the market a lot faster and a lot more productively. So this is what we intend to do, and this is what we've been doing. And that is why for the first time this year, the influence of the top 5 countries or 6 countries is becoming less and less as a percentage to the total. For us, is the implementation of a long-time vision. We always said that Cyprus needs a casino. So the City of Dreams invested this huge amount because they knew that this is not another corner shop type of casino, but a whole project which will be made up of a hotel there with a capacity of 500 beds. It's going to be a shopping mall, conference center, entertainment center. This is what we've always been requesting. We needed to have a complete package that would make this casino a destination. And this is what City of Dreams are aiming for. And I think that from what I have seen so far, they will achieve that. Of course it will attract these high-end tourists. This is why we have included the casino resort in the strategy to improve the quality of the destination and attract the high-end tourists. We have hotels which are rated internationally as 6 stars. Although our classification goes up to 5 stars, we have this type of hotels in Cyprus, and I think it's another indication that the private sector is always there to invest and take the risks during these difficult economic times. That is why I believe that the ones that will adjust the fastest on the high-end tourist is the hoteliers, because they've already been there, they've already know how to do it, and they have already demonstrated that they can do it. So to complete the package with the high-end is the casino resort that we have already talked about. We have the marinas. Now there is another one under construction. The Limassol one is already up and running. We want to make sure that the tourists who come to Cyprus and they choose to stay in one of these accommodation, they are most welcome to do it, but we need to ensure that they are going to have a healthy and safe stay. According to the statistics of the National Statistics Office, which is part of Eurostat, about 32% of the tourist arrivals do not stay in licensed hotel or other accommodation. We are not there to tax people. What we have said is that this accommodation, which is unlicensed and is being used by a lot of people, it's very vulnerable to affect Cyprus' reputation as a tourist destination. We need to address this issue, and we said that we accept that there is such a statistical, a huge number of using this accommodation like Airbnb and all sorts of different unlicensed accommodation. But at the same time, we said this accommodation has to be regulated. Regulated meaning they need to apply health and safety regulations. We want to have everybody playing on the same level, and at the same time make sure that Cyprus will not be affected by a negative incident in one of these accommodations. The Cypriots started coming back to the industry, and we have realized that they wouldn't last because they needed a more safe, career-oriented position and not just a seasonal employment. So we have decided that through these efforts to extend the season, we need to run a campaign with the young ones that the hotel industry is again becoming a 12-month employment possibility, and they should come back to the industry. As far as the salaries are concerned, I feel that at the moment, because of the shortage of labor, the salaries have gone way up. We're about 20% higher salaries this year since last year. The multiplier effect of this industry is huge. I think it's the highest of all industries in Cyprus. Every other industry has a much lower multiplier effect on the economy. And we tried to conduct a study which indicated that of the total revenue of one hotel, what stays within the hotel is about 10 to 15%. Everything else is going out to suppliers, to employees, to the banks, to the authorities, to the electricity, to the everything else. So it's only about 10 to 15%. So the multiplier effect of this industry is tremendous.